Hey everyone, this is Mr. Jack, and I'm here to do a short book talk on nonfiction. Now, I know when a lot of people hear the term nonfiction, they're thinking immediately of textbooks or something dry and boring and not worth reading. But I'm here to tell you that nonfiction has a lot of amazing types of books in it. Whether you are a soccer fan or a music fan or a sneaker fan, we have got a book, nonfiction book for you. So I'm just here to tell you a little about some of them. And I'm going to do this short and quick because hopefully you'll come into the library and browse some of these texts that look good to you. If you're a fan of cars, we've got great books on cars. I'm not a huge fan of cars, but Miss Bridges loves them, and she turned me on to the science of supercars, which is sort of looking at your Ferraris and Bugattis and Mercedes cars. And it's a really amazing book that gives you both the science and the design of these cars that is just really interesting and written in a way that even I, who know nothing about cars, could understand. So I really recommend that book if you're a car enthusiast. I'm going to let your teacher take over here. I don't know if you know this, but she's a huge BTS fan, and she really wanted to talk about Larger Than Life, the history of boy bands. And so I'm going to let her take over from here. Hopefully, she's not going to bore you too much, but we have a book for any type of music that you like. And so just let us know what it is, and we will find it for you. One of my favorite musicians is Japanese Breakfast, and the lead singer, Michelle Zauner, wrote a great memoir called Crying in H Mart, which I highly recommend. If you're a fan of the show iCarly, Jeanette McCurdy's novel has been a New York Times bestseller, and it's all about having probably the world's worst stage mom ever. And then, if you've watched any of the Dahmer shows on Netflix, this is a memoir of someone who went to high school with him and what it was like sitting next to him in class. And so I really love this graphic novel a lot. You don't have to go to fiction for a great crime or mystery. A lot of great crime and mystery happens in nonfiction. And so, if you want to read about serial killers or drug kingpins or abducted girls, we've got a nonfiction book for all those. And if you like sports, if you've been following the Warriors, we've got a great book about the sort of making of the Warriors dynasty, which is really interesting. Dragon Hoops is a terrific book about a smaller dynasty, another basketball team from a local high school nearby that was written by and drawn by Jean Luen Yang. And I included Beast because I'm sure there's a mixed martial arts fan out there, and I don't want to make him or her angry at me. So that's another great book. There's some really interesting science books out there. Breath is a book that really takes you into the science and of breathing and how that affects our health. Braiding Sweetgrass is a story written by a botanist who's also Native American and talks about what we can do for our planet to make it healthier and make us healthier in turn. And For the Good of Mankind looks at sort of the ethics of science and asks really tough questions about, would you kill a child in order to develop a vaccine to save thousands of children? Really difficult questions. And so that I really like that book a lot. If you're interested in sort of a different take on traditional U.S. history, all these books look at it through a lens of how slavery has affected our country and the development of our country and how it explains a lot of the issues we have today. And so all these books are phenomenal, and I would recommend them if you want to take a deeper dive into history. And then finally, since it's New Year's, I figured there's a lot of people here who made resolutions, and there's a lot of great self help books to help you do better with those resolutions. I started meditating thanks to Dan Harris, whose Meditation for Fidgety Skeptics helped me kind of get over my bias against meditating and helps me understand how it helps with focus and happiness, and it's a great change in my life. My son is reading Atomic Habits, which is a way that you just create habits that will help you and get rid of the habits that hurt you. And so it's a really interesting way of just showing you how to develop those. And lastly, The Talent Code is a great book about how greatness is made. It's not born, and what you can do to actually foster it in no matter what field you're interested in. So I hope some of these books piqued your interest, and if not, come to the library and we will help you find something that does.